Welcome to Dying to Talk, the podcast where we have real, raw, and necessary conversations about grief, loss, and everything in between. I'm your host, Letitia, and today we're diving into one of the stages of grief. It's denial. You know, the phase where our mind protects us from reality by making us believe maybe this isn't real, maybe they're just on vacation, maybe I'll get a text from them soon. Sound familiar? If you've ever caught yourself saying, I'm fine, I'm totally okay, or just avoiding grief altogether, this episode is for you. To help me break this all down, I have an incredible guest with me today, Bianca Vann, who is an inspiring mother, a passionate mental health advocate, a devoted minister, and an accomplished author. Above all, she embodies the spirit of an everyday woman navigating life beyond struggles that once held her back. She lost her best friend, Lashina, and she knows firsthand how it feels to live in denial after a loss. She's here to share her story, her experience, and what she's learned through her journey of grief. But before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor Lashina, her life, her energy, and the love she left behind. Let's take a moment of silence while I light a candle in her memory. Thank you, Bianca. I know this isn't an easy conversation, but I truly appreciate you sharing your heart with us today. Before we dive into the deep stuff, I want to take a moment to honor Lashina. Can you tell us a little bit about who she was and what made your friendship so special?
Hi, Letitia. Thank you so much for having me. So, first of all, let me just say this is dope. This is such a dope platform. I have not spoke on this in this type of setting ever. So this is the first for me. And it's difficult because grief is one of those things that it's kind of taboo sometimes, right? Like you don't want to talk about it, but you kind of need to talk about it. And you don't want people to judge what you really want to say, but it's really your truth, right? So just thank you for asking me to be a part of this episode. I think it's amazing. And it's a space for not only the speakers, but those listening can heal because we're all grieving to some extent and we need to be able to have a safe space to share that in. So yes, Lashina. Yeah, Lashina is someone that I would call an encompassing friend. We had an all-encompassing type of friendship. It's inclusive, it's complete, accepting of all aspects of each other, right? So both negative, both positive. It was something that I've never experienced in my life and something that cannot be replaced. And I use the word encompassing. I really just looked it up a couple days ago because someone else asked me how would I describe that, but that was her. That was us. It was all encompassing. So everything, complete spirit, mind, body, soul. It was just that person for me.
And what was one of your favorite memories with her? Like something that makes you smile about when you think about her?
It would have to be when we went to the Bahamas and she does not do animals or water. And she got in the dolphin swim for me because I don't know why. That all encompassing, right? Like, Bianca, if you want to do it, I'll do it, right? And she got in the dolphin thing with me, and the dolphin, like, did her fins and got her all wet, and she cussed me out, like, cussed me clean out. But she was so just excited to live. I think that was one of the most memorable moments for me because even though she was afraid, I knew her love for me and just wanting to see me happy brought joy to her. So that's something that I can look back and look at the pictures and be like, that was funny.
So as we're going to move on to our denial stage, I want to talk about a moment you found out about her passing. Did it feel real right away or did denial set in? How was that for you?
The moment that Sheena passed away was September 20th, 2023 at 12:48 p.m. And I was on the phone with Sheena 45 minutes prior to her passing. I was getting my lashes done and I was like, hey, I'll call you when I get done. And I went to get my lashes done and I was not woken up, but my eyes opened up because my lash tech was like, your phone is ringing, like answer your phone. And I got to reach my phone and there was over 44 messages and calls from Sheena's kids. And when I got up, I was like, oh my God, what's going on? They're like, get to my mom. She passed out. I'm like, what? I just talked to her. So I'm speeding down the highway, lashes half done. I'm trying to find her, follow her location. I wasn't able to get the direct point of where she was exactly. Show me a blue dot. So I was just trying to get to the blue dot, maneuvering through traffic. And when I got to where Sheena was, there was a police and ambulance there, and I see them doing CPR on her. And I'm like, what? What is happening here? Because in my mind, my mom passed out. I'm like, she's just having an anxiety attack. She's on the side of the road. Never would have thought that that was that. And then I'm like, okay, so let's get to the hospital. We get to the hospital and they're doing chest compressions. And I literally, in my mind, are like, girl, when you wake up, wait till I tell them how you just had, wait till I tell you how they just had you just out here naked, like boobs everywhere, right? Like, I mean, that's in my brain. That's what I'm thinking. Like, there's no way you're not waking up, like none. Right. And the doctors come back 10 minutes later and they're like, I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do. Mm-hmm. And I'm just, you, what?
Right.
And I think that's where the denial began for me, because I couldn't accept the fact that I just talked to her 45 minutes prior. Even when I'm sitting there, they're doing CPR, I'm praying. Like, okay, God, like, wake her up, God. Like, I had not a doubt in my mind that she wasn't going to wake up. Not one doubt. And she didn't. She did not wake up. For me, that is really when the denial kicked in, because I was still just like, what? Like, what happened? How is this even a thing?
During that phone call, did she say that she wasn't feeling good, or she was sick, or did she just sound like her normal self, or did you sense anything?
No, she sounded like her normal self. She was like, she said to me, she said, hey, I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help, and I need you to do something for me. And I'm going to, like, she said that. That was our conversation. I'm going to need your help. I need you to do something for me. And it's, as time went on, because one thing we learn about grief is that you go through a stage where you remember things leading up to it, right? And I remember 3 days prior, Sheena was like, so I praise dance. She was like, when I pass away, you make sure you dance at my funeral, and I want to wear purple. Make sure you don't have me out here looking crazy. Like, she said these things 3 days prior. And that morning we had that conversation. She said, I need you to do something for me. I'm going to need your help. Is what she just kept saying. I'm going to need your help. And I was like, all right, I'll call you when I finish getting my lashes done. Like, it was that. There were no signs of anything. And I believe that Sheena had some type of inkling that something major was about to happen. You know, the Bible does talk about, we don't know when, right? We don't know the time that any of us are going to pass away. But I do believe that she had some form of an inkling. I mean, when she was saying, I'm going to need your help, I think it meant more to her than it did to me in the moment.
Yes. A lot of people experience denial in different ways. Sometimes keeping phone numbers, expecting a phone call, just avoiding anything that reminds them of the loss. Do you find yourself, or did you find yourself doing any of those things?
Absolutely. Letitia, it goes from Sheena's perfume, like spraying it because I need to smell her. It goes to when I see red cars, that's triggering for me. I literally just moved her out of my pinned text messages last week, and she's passed away almost a year and a half ago. And I just now removed her from my pinned text messages as if she was going to text me. There were times, I still have Sheena's phone. There are times where I will text from her phone to my phone just so I can see the notification. Knowing that it's me, like me texting me, right? Or I'll text her phone number, and there's some type of relief in that, right? I play songs that I know are like, you know what, Sheena would listen to this. Or, you know, when she first passed, it was really hard. Me and Sheena spent every day together, all day long. So simple tasks like going to the gas station, I'm expecting her to pull up in her red car. Or when the phone rings, you know, thinking, or when there's a knock on the door and it's not them. You know, you really go through, you almost feel crazy. Like I'm
Ish.
like ish, like for real, like to the
Mhm.
point, like I would not remove Sheena's phone out of my favorites.
Mhm.
I wouldn't. I felt like, nope, I have to honor you. And it's, you know, all this time has passed and I don't want you to be in heaven thinking that I forgot. So I'm not gonna put you like, and here's the thing about the stages of grief, right? Because what I've learned is that they're not stages. You don't go from one level to the next level and graduate to the no, baby. It's a cycle, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm still in denial sometimes because grief is one of those things where it's just ghetto like that.
Mhm.
Like it's just, baby, listen, today ain't a good day. Like, you know, Wednesdays,
Mhm.
she had died on a Wednesday, so Wednesdays are automatically always hard for me.
Mhm.
It's like my body knows, like Wednesday, 12:48, like, you know, and it's like, yeah. I think I went on a tangent, but that denial is like and it shows up in different spaces.
And I agree. I don't feel like there's a specific order that grief comes in. And then sometimes you may be past, a certain point that you think, but it's always going to be something else that maybe you wasn't even expecting that will kind of start all over again for you. And then
Mhm.
it puts you back there. And then it's just, and that's normal. Anyone that we lost, whether it was a loved one, a best friend, I think we've all can relate and all have been there.
Mhm.
And so for you, since it's been a year and a half, at what moment did you realize, okay, this is for real?
I don't know at what moment did I realize it. I think I find myself still to this day like, did this really happen? Like that acceptance all over again, right? I think when Sheena passed away, there was so much hustle and bustle, right? Of trying to make sure her husband was okay, trying to make sure her kids were okay, trying to make sure, you know, everybody had what they needed, that the funeral arrangements were what they were. You know, it wasn't until I remember a day when it was after the funeral, after everything had settled down and there wasn't anything for me to do, right? I don't have to plan. I don't have to contact a pastor. I don't have to go back to the funeral home. Sheena's in the ground, right? And I remember after that, I went home one day and I literally walked in the house. My family was still there and I fell to the ground and I screamed like my life literally was taken out of my body. And I think at that point, there was nothing else for me to do. I wasn't distracted by plan. I wasn't distracted by services and making sure she was dressed right. That was done. It was like, okay, so now what? Now what I'm supposed to do? Because now it sets in that the person that I spent every day with, they're gone, right? And I can't even cope with them. I can even cope with the fact that I have a little piece of them by planning their services because that's done. So now what? I'm just supposed to just find a new normal. Like I'm just supposed to, like, what is that? And I think that moment, it all hit me like she's not coming back. And there's nothing that you can do right now to pretend like she's still around.
Right.
That it's not, she's gone. And that was really difficult for me. I think at that point, I didn't have to be strong for anybody else, right? I didn't have to do anything. It was just me and my feelings and what I felt and the pain. Like I said, it came from a space. Sheena wasn't just a friend, right? It was, when I say all encompassing, I meant that because it was every part of my life she was intertwined with. And you ever meet that person that just gets you, like, and accepts you, you ain't gotta kind of
Put
be a
on.
certain way. I didn't have that. So then that security of being free, that security of being safe, that security of somebody else being able to think for me, somebody else to have my back, like that, it hit me. It did. And it's still to this day, Letitia, it's still like did that really happen to me? Like, it's still one of those things that are it's heavy. And grief is something that it comes up in different ways, right? It's not, maybe it's not a Wednesday. Maybe it's not her birthday. Maybe not her anniversary. Maybe a song just comes on and I'm just, or maybe getting questions to this podcast and I'm just like, dang, like you're really gone. Like it really it's a cycle. It's a cycle.
And are there things that have kind of helped you start moving forward, even though, you may still be there at times, but what has helped you start moving forward?
I think what has helped me move forward, I think I'm in an acceptance phase right now, or acceptance cycle today. Like in this season, I'm accepting that she's gone and that there's nothing that I can do that will prove my love even further. And I think that accepting the fact that no, my love for Sheena did not die when she died, but her knowledge of my love for her. So there's nothing like I used to feel like I needed to work to try to, honor, right? Honor this and honor that. And while we think it's something that we should do, right? But I've learned for me, and this is everyone's grief journey is different. I've had to accept, Bianca, that everything I could give Sheena, I gave while she was alive. And if I don't accept that there's not much more I can do, then I'm going to keep staying stuck in these different cycles, right? And like I said, the cycles I think will always be a thing. And that's the thing that people don't talk about. Grief doesn't end. It's how you maneuver it and how you go from one cycle to the next, right? So for me, moving forward is meaning I don't cry as much on Wednesdays anymore. Right? I don't I was able to move her out of my text message thread, right? Like little things like that, like slowly just accepting like I don't cry because it's over all the time. I'm just grateful for what it was. And I'm just getting to a space where I'm accepting that some experiences only happen once in a lifetime. And that's how I feel that was for Sheena. And I think I held on to a lot of artifacts and a lot of practices because I was just trying to hold on to that love, right? Or that connection and that chemistry. But I realized it was for when it was. And it's taught me a lot now where I feel like I can move a little more free. I can not be wallowed in the loss, but celebrate their life by continuing to live. I don't want to die with her. So continuing to live, that's helped me to move forward. And it's a struggle. It is. But I think as long as you continue to keep those things in perspective, right? I can honor you without dying with you. And I think that's helped me move forward.
And that's a word, honor you without dying with you. That's really good. And thank you for sharing Lasheena's story. Is there anything else you want to say about her or just anything at this moment?
Like I said, Sheena was it was a once in a lifetime experience, right? You only meet, I used to say, like, was she an angel? Like, it was that type of experience. And I would want to say that Sheena taught me that it's okay to just be you. Sheena she was a different type of person, right? She walked around with colored hair. She would wear her sneakers. She would pray for you and then probably cuss you out in the same sentence. Like she was just a dope kind of person. But she taught me that it's okay to be me and whatever that encompasses, right? Whatever that looks like, whatever, trends I have to break or trends I have to establish. It's okay to be me. And I'm thankful for that experience. Yeah, some days are better than others, And it was so funny. I was like, when I was getting on this podcast, like, oh my God, where's the button? I used to wear a button with Sheena's picture on it all the time. I'm like, why don't I have the button on? And that just speaks to the growth that it's not in my car like it used to be, right? I used to walk around with it. drive around with it in my car. I had one in the dashboard, one on the top of the thing, because I needed to feel like she was always with me, right? I'm growing. So she is with me. She's just, I don't have to wear her for her to be a part of me. Even that was just like a little, like, dang, Bianca, you're growing a little bit, right? And if I'm honest, I struggled with moving forward without moving on. I felt like, dang, if I like take her out of my text messages, that's like me moving on or me But in a way it is, right? Like you don't forget them, right? But you got to find a way to take those small steps, right? And like I said earlier, honor them without dying with them, right? Honor them without reverencing them in a way where it's like I can't move forward. I gotta, like this. I walk around with Sheena's ring on. I still have some jewelry of hers. I still have some clothes, but just finding little steps, to move forward. But that's my story, right? Everybody has their own grief story. There's people that I know that go to the cemetery every day and eat, and that's how they cope. I'm not necessarily doing that, right? So I think it matters to the person how they grieve, but I will say be honest in feeling what you have to feel. One of the biggest things that I regret is that people try to rush my process, and I wasn't allowed to feel, right? I wasn't a minister at my church. I am a minister, and I felt like I could go to church and be strong and pray, and she's in a better place. Well, I'm not. I'm not in a place, right? I'm struggling here, right? So I would just encourage people to let people feel. Let people feel that Jesus felt.
Yes.
The shortest Bible says Jesus wept. Shortest Bible scripture, Jesus wept. He did. So that means if he can cry, I can too. And it's okay, right? It's okay. So just allowing people to feel and just be in your process of however grief looks like for you.
And to that, for anyone listening who might be struggling with, let's say, denial specifically right now, what advice would you give them?
To process. I had a safe space of people that allowed me to talk about Sheena over and over and over. And that is something that helped me. It helped me process the fact that she's gone.
Yes.
To talk about her helped me. And I used to call my sister every day for months, and all we did was talk about Sheena. And it made me feel like I wasn't crazy. It made me feel like I'm in denial, but the more I talk about this, the better it feels, the more real it is. I don't know, but it's helping me. So can we talk about it right now? Like, so having that safe space to process, I would tell someone, don't suppress how you feel, because people die with the dead. They do. So don't suppress it. Don't try to be strong. Don't try to not feel. No, feel everything that you need to feel, and then get some help.
Yes.
Whether that's a safe space, whether that's a therapist, whether that's going to grief coaching, whether it's going to support groups, right? Like, your help is different than my help. But I think that grief is the cost you pay for love. So when you lose that, we can't continue just to slap on Band-Aids like it don't hurt, and people are supposed to be done with it in about X amount of time.
Right.
I may never be over this thing, right? But I want to be around people or be connected to solutions and support that's going to help me navigate it. I never want to lose the feeling that I had when I think about Sheena. Like, I don't want to lose that, but I need that to fuel me so I can continue to live and to love, right? I don't want to just get stuck on September 20th. But I didn't have people and tools in my life to help me process that, or platforms like this. Like I said, I don't talk about this. I don't, because people expect me to, yes, the Lord is good. He is. But this crap hurts. Okay? Like, it hurts. People expect so much. So I was challenged the other week to start talking about grief, because it's something that we don't talk about. And it's so necessary. And it's not just tied to people who have died. We grieve the living too. But it's a taboo conversation and people don't talk about it. So I would just say safe spaces, processing, and connect to some supports that can help you navigate you where you are.
Thank you for that. I know faith is a big part of your life, and I love that about you. Could you share one scripture or message that has carried you through this journey?
I would go back to the story of Job. And Job was a righteous man. Job was an upright man. He loved God, believed God, and he lost everything.
Yes.
And Job's response to the loss is what encourages me through my grief. That though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Though he slay me acknowledges the fact that, God, this hurts. I don't understand. I'm confused. I'm without. But though I feel all these things, my trust is still in you. That has been my guiding principle, because I still don't understand it, right? I still don't understand, why would you allow me to experience this type of connection, chemistry, companionship? Like, why? And it just taken, right? But I've realized that his ways are not mine.
Right.
His thoughts are not mine. So how I maneuver this, not based on what happened, but because I know who God is. And that's been what's helped me. Though I hurt, though I grieve, though I cry, yet will I trust in God.
Yes, that's beautiful. And such a reminder that even in our hardest moments, we are never alone. Bianca, I just want to thank you for being so open, for sharing your journey, and mostly importantly, for allowing us to honor Lashina today. Denial is something so many people go through and grieve, and your story will help others who are struggling with it. But before we wrap it up, I want to give you the space to share where people can connect with you, follow your journey, and support the amazing things that you're doing right now.
I can be reached at IamBiancaVann.com. You can follow me on social media. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me, IamBiancaVann at Gmail. You can look me up on Amazon, Bianca Vann. And just stay tuned. God is doing some amazing things in my life, and I'm excited to be able to share that with the world. It's not always an easy task to be on platforms, but I think, like I said earlier, though he slay me, right, yet will I trust God. So I'm thankful for that platform to be able to reach people, that it doesn't always look like you think life is going to look, and it's just what it is, right? But ultimately, we know who holds tomorrow. So I'm just excited for you, Letitia. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for taking a leap of faith out on your own journey and helping to help us, people who need to have these taboo conversations about grief. And I'm just so thankful for your journey, and I appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you. And so, to everyone listening, if you're in denial, I want you to know you are not alone. Grief doesn't come with a manual. It's unpredictable. It's messy. As Bianca said, it's ghetto. And sometimes our mind protects us before we're ready to face the reality. Yeah. And that's okay. But when you're ready, know that healing is possible. If this episode resonated with you, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'm your host, Letitia, and this has been Dying to Talk. Until next time, take care of your heart, and remember, it's okay to grieve and it's okay to heal. Bye-bye.